Hello, everyone. We'll get started shortly.
Aye.
Don't put my nose through all this stuff in your bed. Getting there. Finding a way.
Are you struggling to navigate the future of your business right now? The Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce welcomes you to our annual Big Connect Expo, presented by
Good afternoon. I stopped sharing so I could see everyone who's on here. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Welcome. We'll be starting. And I see Matthew, you're on. Great. Okay. And I see Betsy's on and Glenn is on. Okay. Very good. All righty. So we can get started. I'm Tamika Miller. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Events with the Greater New Haven Chamber. And we are recording so that we can share this with folks who can't make it. I'm going to be joined today in a presentation. I'm going to talk you through the virtual booths to start for the Internship Career and Job Fair. That's February 23rd through February 25th. So make sure you mark your calendars, February 23rd through February 25th. That's a Tuesday through a Thursday. So I'm going to be recording this. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the fair, just kind of, why the multiple dates and the changed scope this year. And then I'm going to have Glenn share his screen with you and show you what you would see when you start registering. And then we'll go on from there. I'll be joined also by Shantae Williams-Monroe, who's on. And we will go on from there. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. So as I mentioned, I'll just kind of give the overview now of the internship career and job fair. Now, of course, since I have my screen and I'm sharing it, I can't see you like if you raise your hand or wave. So it's best you just take yourself off mute and stop and ask me a question. And this can be an interactive dialogue. So don't hesitate, feel free to take yourself off mute and ask a question, because with sharing the screens, I won't be able to see, you know, if you're looking puzzled or if you have a question. So just to set the stage, the internship career and job fair this year has a broadened scope. We realize, based on the extreme need of folks out there, of course, caused by the pandemic and other issues, that a lot of folks are looking for jobs. So it's not just, in prior years, we focused only on trying to drive students for internships and for quote unquote, maybe office related career positions. Now we realize the need of the community, of course, is deeper, is broader than that. So this year we're calling it our internship career and job fair. And that's really to signify that we've broadened the scope. So this is open to the general population. It's free. Literally anyone who needs a job should tap into this resource on these 3 days. And why is it 3 days? It's 3 days because, given, everything in the climate and everything where we are today, instead of doing a one-day in-person event, we of course had to do it online. And we're talking to our partners and talking to the organizations who are developing this fair with us, and saw there was just really a lot of need out there and a lot of content that we want to share. So we're going to divvy up all of that content over 3 days. It will not be 3 full days, only half days for the most part. So for example, on the first day, and you'll see the actual timing when I show you my next screen. But the actual timing will be February the 23rd is a Tuesday from 8 to 1. And then the next day, that Wednesday, it's from 10 to 3. And then that Thursday, it'll be from 2 to 6. And we're doing that specifically because we realize, given students or given recent graduates or given people who are in transition or in their second career or who are working, jobs, real jobs that, where they don't have the flexibility of leaving and joining a virtual event like this, we're trying to give them every opportunity to join this. Each of the days we will record the fair and make it available to anyone who's registered. Once you're registered, you'll be registered for the entire thing. So it's not like attendees or job seekers have to register every single day. They're registered one time, and then they can come and go as they please. And then the recording will be shared with them if they miss a day or two. We'll have across those 3 days, 15 different workshops, which I won't go into a lot of detail because we really want to focus this time on the booth. We're going to have 15 different workshops. Some of you have already volunteered and asked and said you could share your core competency with us. You could share speakers in your organization with us, and we appreciate that. We're taking you up on that. And then we also have several organizations that we're partnering with who will provide us speakers and content to fill the workshops for everyone who's attending this event. In terms of marketing, we are marketing this on in the newspaper, digital media, billboards. So we expect to have a large turnout. In the past, last time, and Glenn, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think our last year we had over 400 attendees last year.
That's correct.
Thank you. So we expect to have equal that number or more because it's virtual. And that's actually the silver lining of all this being virtual, because more people can attend, hopefully, and then the scope of even companies with positions can be expanded as well. So that's the silver linings of the virtual world. So I'll pause right there with that overview and ask at this point if there are any questions. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to have Glenn just walk you through the registration process. This is, we're kind of jumping ahead and assuming that, yes, everybody wants a booth. And he's going to just walk you through the registration process on our website. So I'm going to stop sharing so that you can go to our website, Glenn.
Okay. All right.
Okay, can everyone see that?
No, our website, our chamber website.
Oh,
We'll get there in a minute.
I thought you wanted to go through the other page.
Yeah, just pretend they're going to be signing on. And this is important because there's certain things you have to answer under here. Yep, perfect.
Okay, you can see that?
Yep, we can.
Okay, good. So, yeah, there's several different, obviously there's the booth purchases where you can register to sign up for a booth. And then there's also the registration section for candidates. And it includes everything, really, I think we've got everything on here. Obviously the time for the event. Welcome to our sponsor, AMS Practice Management. Thank you, Chris, who's in the room. The method to register on UVA, which is our event app, and all that information is here. You can pull this up on your computer or on your phone. So it's pretty easy. You can download it at the App Store.
Could you go to, could you scroll up?
And
just click on where it says on the right, if you were an employer, click here. Yeah, right there. We want them to see what they're going to see as a company registering. So if you click on register there and show them what they'll see. Perfect.
Sure. So obviously, in my case, I'm a member, so I'll click on the, if you're a member, it's easy to log in. But if you aren't a member, or even if you are a member, this screen will pop up, and we'll ask you for some questions. You can fill in the answers. If you can't, that's okay. But we obviously would like to publicize the open positions that you have prior to the event, and not just during the 3 days. That's one of the beauties of this. The sooner you come on and sign on, you can start posting your positions. I've already invited candidates to join the application. So there's actually candidates that are already registered, just a couple. But in the coming weeks, the more we start to get the word out, the more candidates are going to register. So don't think of this as just a 3-day event. Really, the sooner you're on there, you can start to post your jobs.
Perfect. And can I also highlight here too, you see where Glenn is right now. There's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 opportunities there where it says provide the title of the job and internship opening. But also at the very bottom, this is a critical point where it says provide the name of the person or people who will staff your booth. It's really, really important that you put the name of that person. So here's an example. So Don McCauley, you might be the person who decides we're going to purchase the booth, but that you have another person in your organization, say his name is Fred Jones. Fred Jones is going to be the one responsible for setting up the booth and actually staffing or manning the booth. So when you purchase this, you'll need to put Fred Jones' name and information there so that he gets all the necessary information and the little guide on how to set everything up. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So when you say put the information, is it just the name or is it name and email?
It'd be great if you can put the name and email. And I know, Jesse, you're on. We're going to try to make this a required field. I see now that it's not. We're going to try to make this a required field so that we don't forget. Because what's been happening in the past with our expo when we had virtual booths is everybody filled this information out correctly, but they didn't put, some people didn't put the name of the person in their booth. And then we had emails and all the instructions going to the person paying for it, and then they had to forward it on. So it just took an extra step, but we're trying to be really, really turnkey this time. So anything else, Glenn, you want to add?
Not on that page. I don't know if you wanted me to show them the other site or not.
No, I think, this was the extent, so they can show this is what you would see when you first sign up.
Yeah, and if you have any difficulty, you just can call the chamber directly, and we'll assist you, too. So.
Perfect. Okay. So if you'll stop sharing, so once you are signed up for the booth, then you will get an email address that walks you through again, with all the instructions. But before we get to the instructions portion, I think it's helpful if I now walk through all the components of a booth. So here I go. I'm going to share my screen. Can you all see that? Okay.
Yes.
Try to make it just a little smaller. So here again, we see the name of the fair. AMS Practice Management is our presenting sponsor. And here are the dates that I mentioned, the 23rd to the 25th, Tuesday from 8 to 1, Wednesday from 10 to 3, and Thursday from 2 to 6. This is a sell sheet that we have put together, informational sheet that we put together. If you don't have this sheet, maybe just put a note in the chat and let me know, and we can email this to you if you don't have this. And that way you can look through this at your leisure. But I'm gonna just kind of walk through this. Okay. And Betsy and Glenn and Shantae, if you have any points to add as I'm walking through, feel free to chime in. So here on the sell sheet, we also have this link here that says sign up for all virtual booths. This is exactly what Glenn just took you through. If you click on this link, it takes you to the page that Glenn just showed you, and you'll be able to follow the steps from here. So again, we're trying to make everything turnkey and provide, you know, links in different places to make it turnkey. Okay, I'll get to the workshops later. Okay, so here we go. The first package that we have, and I'm starting from sort of the most premium, and then I'll go down, is the Virtual Booth Plus. This comes with all the benefits of our virtual booth, which I will walk you through. Plus, it gives you, let me make this a little larger. Okay, hopefully that's good. Plus, it's going to give you an opportunity to participate in what we're calling the Passport Program. So this is similar to what you've seen possibly at other other trade show events that you've been to in the past, where attendees are incentivized to stop by your booth. So should you buy into this package, attendees will have the opportunity to receive an incentive. And if you want to donate a session or product, depending on what your business or service is, to fair attendees for them to win, this could be an introductory offer for your organization if you wanted to do that. You'll be able to do that. And you would just let us know if you want to offer that opportunity. But this is part of the Passport Program. And then you'll also get exclusive speaking opportunity to all the attendees. This is for 2 minutes. You can choose one day of the fair. So you can choose the Tuesday, the Wednesday, or the Thursday. This gives you the company logo on the event banner on the Whova app. So in a few minutes, we're going to actually go through and do a demonstration on Whova. Whova is our event platform. So your booth will actually exist on Whova. And we're going to do a demonstration to show you what Whova is, how it looks. And so one of the options is you're going to have your company logo as a banner on there, and everybody coming into the fair will see that. The next bullet says company logo on the event PowerPoint presentation. So throughout the event, specific times, we'll be sharing a PowerPoint presentation, and even during the sessions. And your logo would be on that presentation. So again, as people are listening to the sessions and viewing this on their computer, they would see your logo. Then the next bullet, company logo with recognition on the event page of both chamber websites. So of course, I'm sure you're all familiar with our gnhcc.com website. We also have an affiliate chamber, the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. So your information and logo will be present on both of those websites. And for example, we get over 6,000 visits to our website, to give you an idea of the traffic. In terms of social media, we have over 3,000 followers, our LinkedIn and Facebook that's combined. So we will also give you a social media shout out, letting people know that you have signed up to be a virtual booth exhibitor from the time you purchase through the end of April. So that's a lot of good exposure on LinkedIn and Facebook. Okay, scrolling down further. So this is sort of the bare bones of a virtual booth. So again, the Plus package gives you everything that I'm now about to walk you through, plus all the stuff that I did walk you through. Okay, so here's sort of the bare bones. This is a virtual booth exhibitor. For members, it's $250, and for non-members, $495. So you get a customized opportunity on the Whova platform. So I'm going to again walk through this, then we're going to do a demonstration to really bring all of this to life so you understand. And again, feel free to chime in. So number one, your company video. If you have a company video that you already have made or you want to make, there are lots of sites now that do that for you very easily. They're not as expensive as they used to be. You can get one done. And we've said basically here, it would be an MP4 format or even a mobile video. With cell phones now, you can make a really, really good snazzy one. And they don't need to be long. You know, people have, short attention spans. So if you want your company video commercial, we highly recommend that you do something like a video to place in your booth. And when we actually go through the demonstration, you're going to see where that is placed in your booth. It's really your voice. It's going to tell people about your organization. It's going to tell people whatever you want to, rather. It can tell them about your position that you have available, but it really should be something that's attention getting, short in your booth. And the second thing, you'll have the ability to add company description, a link to your website, link to your social media pages if you have them, and obviously all of your contact information. This is also really important, this third point right here, if I can highlight it correctly. The fact that this is a virtual booth means you will not have to man your booth like you would in person at an in-person event. You know, you'd have to be there. Otherwise, people kind of feel slighted if you're not in your booth and you just have literature. The beauty of this, and again, one of the silver linings of a virtual setting is that you can have 24/7 access and visibility to attendees without having to physically staff your booth. It helps if you can be there, but you don't have to be there if you have a limited team, limited resources in that regard. The next thing talks about, you'll have the ability, and we'll show you the ability to add photos and flyers. So again, if you've got like a whole list, collateral listing on all the job openings, you can add that to your booth and list it there as well. And you have the ability to, if you're really creative and you want to think of, or you've done this in the past, when you think about a live event, so often you've walked around to different booths at a live event, and you'll see some exhibitors will have promotions or contests to try to attract people to come to their booth, or to just kind of have as a conversation starter while you're in the booth. You can do the same thing here. So we'll walk you through how to do that. So you'll design the promo, of course, on your own. We can even brainstorm with you if you'd like, and how that would look. And then there's ability to have that as part of your virtual booth. So again, so far we're seeing that a lot of the features and benefits that you've had in person, we really are trying to provide the platform for you to have it on a virtual setting. Continuing down the list, your company will be listed in all of our event marketing. Again, if you have that video, not only will the video, as we mentioned up here in point 1, this video is actually placed in your booth. But here under point number 2, we're actually saying we will also play your video, and it'll be shared online leading up to the fair. So it's going to drive awareness, more awareness about your company, and the more awareness about the fair. We're also going to show you during our demonstration how you can conduct actual interviews using the Whova feature. There's an in-app feature, and you can actually talk and communicate with candidates. You can collect resumes and cover letters. That's very important. And then we're going to give, can't highlight. Then we're going to give exhibitors the opportunity to have a dedicated breakout room. So again, we're trying to sort of show you that just as you would have in an in-person setting, If a person stops by your booth and they engage you in dialogue, then somebody else wants to come over and talk to you, the same thing can happen in this virtual setting. You can set up time in your own breakout room on Zoom to just talk with candidates. And then if somebody else wants to join your breakout room, they can, much like they would do if they were in person. During Glenn's demonstration, he showed you where you can post your job openings. So that's what this point is mentioning. And again, it's not just on our website. Because of our affiliate chamber, you can post on our website and the Quinnipiac Chamber website. And then we have even more social media exposure here. So that's sort of the foundation of the booth. And as I mentioned earlier, the virtual booth plus, which is this, is the foundation plus this extra exposure and marketing activity for you. So before we go to the actual demonstration, I'm going to pause again to see if we have questions on understanding any of this. Giving time for people to take themselves off mute if they need to. Okay. So I'm going to take myself off share. And then Shantae Williams-Monroe, she is on. She's going to walk you through a demonstration. And we have Matthew, if you could turn your camera on, Matthew, if possible. Yep. So Matthew is with Hoover. So he's our subject matter expert. And Shantae has definitely worked in the interspace, in this interface. So they will both kind of walk you through a demonstration. Again, feel free to chime in. And then I'm going to read the chat in the meantime.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So you all, I just put my contact information in the chat because you will be receiving, once you've signed up, a few emails from me. You'll start off by getting a personalized link from me, and it'll look like this. It'll bring you to a screen, and Matthew, please chime in if I missed something. It'll bring you to your personalized kind of booth where you can set up all your information. You'll start by putting in your company name, your logo, your website, and your phone number. You'll then fill in all the information that you want here, your slogan if you have one, your address, your company description. You also have a place where you can upload a flyer, and the recommended dimensions are here. You can schedule a live, like a Q&A session, or, and Matthew, you can interject, please. You can schedule one-on-one interviews. The way that we've done this in the, we did this during our demo, is we've used our Zoom link. So I created a Zoom link where I use I can't see my tab at the top. I used a kind of a test Zoom link here. Sorry, I can't see my tab at the top. I've used a Zoom link here and pasted it here. And I just said, learn more about GNHCC. I scheduled it for February the 23rd, and I put in my time. You can do these one at a time, especially if you're going to be setting up, if you want to set up an interview with an attendee, you have to schedule them, you know, once one is over, say you schedule one at 9 o'clock in the morning. Once that one is over, you can go back into your portal and schedule another one. You can't schedule them all, you know, in one day. You just have to schedule them, just go in once one is over, schedule it maybe half an hour to an hour later, go back into the back end and add another Zoom link. Of course, you can have those already created on your Zoom account, and then you can just fill them in at that personalized Zoom link that I give you. You can also add.
Okay, this is Wanda Larry. Just a quick question. Are you using your own personal Zoom account, or is there an account within the application?
So I'm using my Zoom account.
So every company has to have a Zoom account in order to link it in. Is that is what I'm understanding.
You can use Zoom or whatever streaming, live streaming platform you prefer. This is just what
Okay.
we use, but yeah, we don't provide the Zoom links for you.
And you're saying that you can schedule them back to back, or you have to, how do you schedule them? Every 2 minutes or?
You can schedule them according to your schedule. So
Okay.
say you want to have a 9 o'clock appointment with someone, you can go into Zoom, create that specific time. And then once that one, and you can schedule them ahead of time if you know that you want to meet with folks prior to. Or if it's kind of ad hoc and someone says that they have availability later on, you can go into your Zoom account, create that link and plug it right in here.
Okay, because what I'm hearing you say is that you can set up individual interviews, or you can have a group session where you're inviting everyone to attend.
Yep. So,
Okay.
Matthew, if you want to explain it a little bit better, maybe I'm just not getting.
No, you're explaining it.
Okay.
Great. No, I understand.
Okay, good. So, and then what you can also do is you can have it where you can have a live session just throughout the day and just leave it open. If someone's able to man your booth and they want to just pop in, and you can chat with them on our community board and say, GNHCC Chamber, we're going to be here all day talking to potential interns. So if you want to come in and speak with someone, you can create it where you can have a breakout room and, just like you would in a regular Zoom call, and schedule with them, or talk with them one-on-one or in a group setting, however you prefer.
And how will those be actually advertised? Will they be advertised? How will they be advertised?
So we have a community board.
Okay.
Where you can speak with attendees. You can schedule a virtual meetup, or if you know someone who you want to talk to directly, I can send Glenn a message and say, Glenn, join my virtual call here. So it's more, the more you engage here, either community board or individual, attendees who wrote to you interested in an intern or opportunity, you can write to them directly.
Thank you.
Yes, and Shantae, to kind of build off that, with the direct messaging of attendees, if you saw, there's a little video call there as well. So if you wanted to, utilize that showcase or that Zoom link on your profile to have those group, Q&A sessions, or hey, we're running, 30 minutes here to explain a little bit more about our company in person, and put your own Zoom links or live stream links in there. And then for individual interviews, maybe in the chat, or if you've connected with, an attendee throughout the day, you can go directly message them and, join their Zoom, or just click video call right in the top right or the bottom left, and you can actually, video call them.
So you can also add a video, as Tamika was talking about earlier. You can use a YouTube link or an MP4 upload from your computer. Whether you want to talk about your openings or introduce your company, you can add that right here. You can add documents here. There is a maximum of 2 that you can upload, but if there are more documents that you need to upload, you can always just email me and I can add them on the back end. Here's where you see the primary contact. And this is who the person that I upload automatically, unless you provide me with additional contact information. You can then go in and add and I think someone asked earlier how to add your booth staff, so you can add them here.
This goes back to what I was saying when you first sign up for the booth on our chamber website. And then remember that was that box at the bottom, and said make sure to put the name of the person and their email address so that Shantae knows. So when she sends the link for this setup process, she can give that person that link.
And I do want to just reiterate that it is really important that you when you do sign up, that you put that contact person name and email, because we don't want the your booth to be sitting kind of naked without any information, and we don't want the day before and it's like you're trying to put your contact information in there. The app is live and the web app is live, so the more people that see your company sooner than later is the better. So I put in a kind of a test raffle here. You can do a raffle, any swag, any promotional items here. You can put the content here, and it'll show up. I'll show you in a moment what it'll show up like on your page.
And this is where, I'm sorry, this is where I highlighted when I was going through sort of the bare bones of the booth. Again, think about if you're in person, and I mentioned you've seen different contests or promotions that exhibitors do. So this is what this is.
You can also upload images on your booth, up to 5 images here. And this is the most important part, is where you'll upload your job listings. Jesse, I know you're out there, you see your job up here, but it does say it's filled by Jesse Phillips. So you can post your jobs here. I will say that in the job descriptions, I believe it's 4,000 characters, Matthew. I think I saw it when I was uploading a description. You are limited to the amount of characters you have in the job description, but again, you can attach that as a document. They do give you the opportunity to ask questions for your applicant after you fill out this information, who you wanted to, the application to be forwarded to. You can ask multiple questions. How many years of experience? What's your times of availability for your interview? Things like that. Okay.
So Shantae, this is Wanda Larry with Workforce Alliance. How will applications be, what is the apply process? And how will resumes be exchanged?
Okay, good question. So I'm just gonna skip ahead for our, so you can see our booth. So you can, as you can see, this is our video that I posted from YouTube, so it'll automatically play. And companies will be listed here along this side of the screen on the web app. So an attendee will click on the company. The video will play automatically. You can also, and I'm going to get there one for one. I'm just kind of going down the.
No worries.
So you can post your job from here and also edit your company profile as well, as long as you're logged in through the Hoover app. Attendees will see all of your information, the contact email, phone number, your website, and the name. This, you'll see my live showcase, time and date, and folks can RSVP here. They'll see the promotional offers here. And when attendees view this site here, it'll show the job description and it'll ask them would they like to apply. Matthew, am I missing anything on this part here?
No, that would be, for every job that you've inputted through that booth setup page, any job that you've added will show up there. And then if you didn't have any specific job openings, that bottom one and just interested in applying, that will always be there so that you can still collect resumes, you can still collect applications, even if you don't have a specific job open or you don't want to display it here yet. So you're still able to collect and, connect with attendees through the booth.
And so Wanda, to answer part of your question as well. So additionally, your job listing is going to also be posted on both chamber websites. So we're going to be marketing and sending people to look at those job descriptions and job postings on the websites, but they'll also see it here. And then of course, any marketing or advertising that you do on your own as an exhibitor will just help that. But between those two, you'll be able to, candidates will know that the job is open and available, and then they'll learn more about it, the specific details when they go to your actual booth here.
And I'm sorry, you guys might have already covered it. This is Betsy from the chamber. I just have a quick question because I got bumped off my internet before. If somebody is, say, for example, if I'm an outplacement company or if I'm somebody who is a resource booth vendor, will I also be able in that, do I have to have job postings in order to intake resumes? Like, for example, if my company is a resume writer, will I be able to accept information from folks as well and be able to set up interviews and set up meetings, even if
Yes.
I'm, okay.
Because you're buying the same product, so you can use it however you see fit. So you might be wanting to talk to exhibitors about maybe having them talk to you about their available openings so you can make your candidates or your clients aware of their openings. Or if you want to attract clients, meaning job seekers yourself, let's say you said you're a recruiting firm, or I'm trying to give an example of maybe like a Challenger, and I always get the name of it confused, but Challenger Christmas and what's
Yeah.
Mary's name? A name of
Well,
a company. That's the example I'm trying to give you.
Right,
Great.
so, okay,
Gray, thank you. Challenger Christmas in Gray. So if
right,
they wanted to buy a booth here, Betsy, they could use the same features that we're showing to communicate to whomever they want to and set up appointments.
okay. And would they post their features and whatnot in the posted job?
Yeah, they could
Okay.
post if they know of, if they have jobs available through their firm, they could post the jobs there. But if they want to just post a description about what they do, their features, their benefits, who they are, there's a job description section somewhere in there. She can go back to that.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different communication tools. Right now, she's showing you the community board,
Okay,
and you can even free form and write in this community board the
Okay.
details.
that's perfect. Because if it's other people that are on this call right now that are actually resources versus hiring companies, I just wanted to get that out there and also to understand for myself. So thanks.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. So if you'll scroll down, Shantae, I think you were going to show one other thing.
That's it on our page. So here you'll
Photos,
see
yeah.
where the photos will come in that you uploaded. As
And
well
you
as-
can see where Shantae has the mission of the chamber. This is our booth that we're using as a proxy, as a demonstration for you all. But you can see where she wrote in information about the chamber. Again, that's information that you can populate as needed. And then to the right, you see where the chat is, the chat feature. So you can have a chat capability as well to communicate live with someone during the event as well. And maybe, Matthew, you could talk through some of the ways, some of the communication ways. So if you can talk through the chat and the community board and anything else that I'm overlooking.
Yeah. So each booth specifically will have its own chat box. So that will be different for each booth. The community board is a great way to connect and post, discussion topics, or, find people from similar areas or similar interests and start just running group chats that are open to the entire event. You can direct message like we showed earlier. And then, going off of my previous clients and other clients that have used this feature to, great success, the ability to kind of incorporate your own scheduling systems and internal systems. Say you have your own, interview registration, or you have your own calendar that you use to put all of your interviews together. You can post that calendar link on your booth as well. So, interested in setting up an interview, click on this link and it'll open up, your Google Calendar or your Calendly link. If you'd rather do that instead of kind of manage it entirely through the platform here. So you kind of intertwine your own company's systems with your booth here.
Thank you, Chris. All right, pausing for questions. Does this seem fairly turnkey for everyone? Good.
This is Wanda. Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing, I know this is lunchtime too, so I'm not offended at all. Don't worry about the no videos. I'm not offended because I'm gonna have my lunch as soon as we're done. Yeah, so we really just wanted to showcase and show you how really easy it is from the very beginning. When you go to our chamber website, gnhcc.com, you click on register, you just fill out all of those things. Again, we're gonna try to make that last field at the bottom required so that you remember to put the name of the person and the email address of the person who's staffing your booth. And then literally from there, we take it over. Once you do that, Shantae sends a link over to you, and then the form that she showed you, you just fill that out, or the person responsible We'll fill that out, and then you'll be able to see your booth within, you know, a few minutes, a few seconds even.
I just
And
want
then
to
you can come and go.
stress.
You can come and go and enter. You don't have to do it all at one time. That's another question we always get. You can come and add a little bit and say, okay, I'm really busy now. I've got to go to a meeting, and come back to it. I'm sorry, Glenn, you wanted to add?
Well, I was just going to stress, you know, just to make sure everyone is clear that they can access all these features through the web browser or through the application. You know, I know we you know, might not be clear to everyone. I know, you know, that was something that people didn't necessarily always understand. They say you can access it on your web browser at your desk or on the application. Yes,
thank you for that. Additionally, I wanted to make also just make a point, and Shantae, we were talking about this right before, which is when you, and Matthew, you can help me too with this, when you first get that link from Shantae to set your booth up, it's important that you remember the email address and the password that you used, because every time you go back into Whova to make a change or make an adjustment, you'll need to use that same email address and that same password. And I'm only saying that because some of us have multiple emails. Like I personally have, you know, I have 2 personal ones, and then I have my work one. So if I'm not paying attention, I could be like, wait a minute, you know, I can't log in, but I've got to remember to use whatever email address that I'm using when I first set up the site, first set up the booth, use that same email address and that same password, and you can come and go and come in anytime you want to and, you know, finish up your booth. So it does not have to be done at one time.
Yes, and Tamika,
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tamika, just one more question. Similar to the Big Connect, will there be an extension of the booths or advertising of the jobs beyond the 25th?
So for us, there will be that. Remember, there was a point on the sell sheet that I showed you that says for social media, we will extend it from the time you register until the end of April. So from the chamber standpoint, we will. And then Matthew, how long again does it exist on the actual Whova platform?
Yeah, so for the web app, so people joining on the desktop on the website, it is for 3 months after February 25th. And then on the mobile app, it's for 6 months. And that is, you know, able to be extended if requested. You know, if you are seeing still, you know, high engagement after that 3 and 6 month period, we can extend that on our end. Tamika and Shantae would have to request that, but that's a possibility. But for you, you know, as with your booth, you will still be able to, you know, accept job postings or job applications. You'll still be able to edit your booth. The only thing that will lock down is that live showcase. You won't be able to schedule a live showcase on the calendar after the event dates end. You can still host one and use, you know, an active live stream link. It just will not be able, you won't be able to click a date outside of the event date.
And also, will we get a complete list of individuals that attended the career fair, or just individuals that attended our booths?
That is up to Tamika and Shantae. You know, we don't hand out the list of attendees. You know, you'll be able to connect and you'll get a list of people who applied. You can decide which email address those applications go to depending on the job. So you can change, you know, marketing at company.com gets the marketing job opening, and HR gets the other job opening application. So you'll be able to connect that way. You can connect through the attendee list. But in terms of an entire list of the event, that is not something you'll have direct access to.
Okay. Right. And we reserve that for certain sponsor levels. We can share the attendee list.
But during the day, like on any given day, though, people can reach out and connect with other attendees, similar how we did for the Big Connect. Thank you, Matthew, for your thanks. So,
yeah. So
real time. Real time, you can connect live and in person to any attendee, which is really cool, because if you see somebody, you can reach out to them.
Absolutely. And Shantae was showing you something on her screen earlier. Oh, perfect. If you go back right there. So you can see
Cute.
all the attendees will be listed there, and then you can click send message, or you can do their profile. So it really behooves the attendees to fill in their information, you know, comprehensively, so that you can see them.
Yeah, and to go off that as well, as attendees sign into the event the first time, you know, kind of the same way you would, they are prompted to fill out their profile. You know, it's one of those that you can click skip if you'd like, or next, but it does ask them, do you want to add a profile picture? Do you want to, you know, add your job title or your educational background? So, you know, it does help them set that up for you, so you have a better understanding of the attendees. You know, it's up to them to input, but it is right there in their face when they do, you know, enter the event.
I think, Wanda, you also had a question, if I remember earlier. You said, was it you who asked about exchanging business cards, or how do you exchange information?
Yes, in terms of exchanging resumes, I was primarily, right.
Oh, okay, with the resumes.
But the business cards also, I guess, is also a good catch. Yeah.
Can you talk
For
through
the
that,
scan
Matthew?
application, you can scan your business card.
Excuse me, right? For a
You can actually scan on your app. You can scan a business card. Am I correct?
yes, for that would be more, you know, in-person events. You know, if you had the QR code and stuff open, you could,
Yes.
or something on their name badge, you could scan that and it'll exchange it. For virtual events, you can do the same process. If you go into the attendee list on the mobile app, you can just click exchange contact info, and that will make their email address and or phone number available to you. Everything else will be available that they input, their background, their education, profile pictures, and all of that. But the email and phone number will be hidden unless you exchange it. So you can kind of request that information.
And then I also wanted to highlight, again, back to something you asked, Wanda, about, you know, getting access to as many attendees as possible. That's why it really does behoove you to have some sort of promotional offer or some gimmick or something in the booth, because the minute that attendee interacts, so by pushing the button or communicates in some way, you know, you're going to get that, you're going to get their information, and you will get a list of those folks.
Okay, thank you.
And you can actually update your notification settings as well for each job or overall. When you post a job, there's settings, send daily updates about this job posting and its candidates, send an individual email update every time a new candidate applies. And then you can also set it up so that you follow up with a thank you email if you'd like. So if they apply, then they'll get an email from you, you know, maybe with more information, or you can, you know, put that meeting link in there if they want to schedule an interview through that, you know, thank you email.
I wanted to, I'm going to put Janet McCrae on the spot in just a second. So I'm just letting you know, Janet, I'm going to be calling on you in just a second.
You
to
would,
share your experience as an exhibitor. To share your experience as exhibitor. But before I do that, I'm going to go to Betsy, because it looks like, Betsy, you have a question or a comment you want to?
You're in my head again. Well, I guess what I just want to put out there, because as I'm sitting here and we've been on for, you know, almost an hour now, is that to me, this is just so exciting that what we're talking about is a career fair, a job fair, and an internship fair. And I think that the best thing we can do, no matter what, is if everybody can certainly get behind this and have excitement about it and post as many jobs as possible, and also get the word out that this is happening and get eyeballs and get clicks into this event. So I would just, you know, challenge everybody to go far and wide and really get behind this and own it as, you know, as an booth investor, as a participant, as somebody who's looking to hire. I just think, you know, while it's a silver lining to, you know, the pandemic. And I think that it's opened up all sorts of doors here. So I would really encourage you all to get the spirit behind it and really embrace it. So that's what was in my head.
Oh, perfect. And we didn't talk about this, but perfect segue, because we're going to give you all the tools. So just as we did, if you were an exhibitor for an exhibitor during our expo, we gave you a social media graphics. We gave you email signatures. We gave you flyers. So you could say, I'm exhibiting with the fair. I'm exhibiting, you know, in my booth. So we're going to do that same thing, give you those graphics so that you can use that on your social media pages. You can use that on your website. You can use it in your email signature. So we're going to do that to help you along. So now, Janet, I wanted to hear from someone, if you can share, since you were an exhibitor at our expo, tell people about your experience with a virtual booth.
Oh, the virtual booth worked out pretty well for us. We were able to post one of our videos. We have several at Untapped Potential, and we generated a lot of traffic. I am literally still following up on connections that I made with the expo.
Wow.
So if you're looking for exposure and connections and generating traffic to your company, this is a good tool. And I actually was on the Hoover app for another event, and it was 2 years ago. And so I still have that on my app. So just the longevity of it, being able to access those attendees and message them and schedule things is it's invaluable. So I encourage anyone that can to go ahead and do a booth, because I'm still working. What was that, November? This is January.
Yeah.
I mean, with the holidays and everything, I'm still trying to keep, catch up with all the people that I met. So it's a great tool, great resource.
Anything else? I'm trying to think of things I haven't said that I should have said. So throughout the day, your day, a day will look like, again, take the first day, for example, Tuesday, February 23rd from 8 to 1. So we'll have an agenda. And for some of you who came to the expo, you'll recall that we had these sessions, workshops going on all day. So we'll schedule them from 30 to 45 minutes. We'll have breaks in between. And for those of you who have the videos, we can play them in between the breaks so that everybody, whether or not they come to your booth or not, everybody has exposure to your company and can see what you're about and what your openings are about. And then you'll have, again, as I mentioned, dedicated breakout rooms. So we'll also do that via Zoom. So there'll be, separate places on, and you'll see where candidates can click there to get that. So it's pretty turnkey. I think we've done a pretty good job of walking you through just some of the steps that you have to take, but we're here to help you. So we're here to walk you through. Matthew is here. He's on the West Coast, but he's still very receptive when I email him or call him. and we'll help you. So don't be intimidated by it. This is, how people are communicating these days. And, we're here to help you. Any other questions?
Well, one thing
Information is all, by the way, in the chat, and it's pretty easy to get a hold of us. There's 6 from the chamber here representing the chamber today. So don't hesitate to get a hold of your business development associate or all of us if you have a question.
The other thing, I know that Calvin had to hop off, but we have got a strong presence with our colleges and universities, and especially with the internship effort on this. The other thing is that we do have, we're looking to get also the jobs posted and then also with the careers, but certainly, think about this as an opportunity to connect with the universities and the colleges and that talent pipeline that's coming out. I mean, these kids are all going to be hopefully, we've got a big classes that are going to be graduating in May and that folks are going to be out there in the pipeline. So that's one of our biggest assets. So just remember that they are going to be there as well.
Cool.
And also encourage folks. I mean, one thing I guess is also to think about, actually taking on interns. So that's a whole other topic to be discussed. But I mean, there's going to be a lot going on at this event for those 3 days. And once again, it's super exciting. And thank you all. And I hope that everybody who's here today is on board, and make sure to tell your networks that it's an available opportunity.
Yeah, and I didn't add this, that I was new to the chambers. I think my membership started like the week before the event. So we focus on, I guess, what you would call returnships at Untapped Potential. So we'll be participating in that regard, and letting people know that we have returnships available. So it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yep, and a number of you are going to be helping. And Adriana, you asked for the cell sheet, information sheet that I was going over, so I emailed that to you already. You should have that in your inbox. And again, if anybody else needs to see the cell sheet up close and personal, just put your email address in the chat and I will email it to you as well if you don't have it. Okay. Well, it is 12:59. I like to be efficient with my meetings. So if there are no other questions, then that's it. And we will look forward to seeing you at the fair. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thanks for being
Take
with
care,
us.
everyone.